So the good news, Sammy, is that I started Mecole Hardman and Jordan Love in my OTAs fantasy league presented by nobody. We don't have a sponsor for the fantasy just yet. Keep an eye out for that in the near future. But no, but it's funny because somebody, for those of you who might or might not be aware, I've been on the Jim Rome Fast channel, show number 8 on Wednesday. And we were talking about this, like how everything always has the guise of fantasy sports. And it's funny because whenever you see OTAs, I was thinking about that today because I think it was Jacob Infante who was making up statistics for Caleb Williams. And I said, what's funny is the NFL at some point is going to require these teams to keep accurate OTA statistics because they're going to make games out of it. Like the NFL will be like, if we can make $1 off this, I'm surprised that they haven't thought of this yet. I would pitch it if I got points on it, but we don't. Over the years, I've pitched about $1 billion worth of ideas that the NFL has done. And I've not, outside of my salary, I have not seen a dime for it. But it is funny to go out there and see that. And I know people are overreacting to a lot of this stuff. Although it always feels like, and I know this because I was watching Matt LaFleur's press conference where he was talking about, that was a great touchdown to Mecole Hardman at the end of the day. I'm like, is this where we're at, Green Bay? You got, like, it's one thing for us, like, we're obviously the league leaders of off-season champion stuff. We always go crazy over the OTA stuff. Now you see the Packers doing it. Are they stressing a little bit? Are they feeling their grip on this division slip away? Because it certainly feels like it. But we got so much stuff to talk about, including the Bears OTAs right now. So, Sammy, let's start the show.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Adam Ray.
It's Hester trying to work it back to the middle. Gets past the first wave, and here he goes. It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown. And no flag, 92 yards.
The sickest Chicago Bears and fantasy football podcast. Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
It is Wednesday night. You know what that means? It is time for Take It to the Rank. A great night of sports, football, and entertainment. AEW is putting on great shows. We'll let you go out there and check. I think actually we run at the same time now. So AEW. I shouldn't be promoting them as much. The Tape Never Lies Network also does shows on Wednesday night. And our friend Jay at Just Another Year also does stuff. And of course, Jay will hopefully be joining us here in the near future. I know I'm jinxing it. And Sammy's like, why are you saying this? Why are you jinxing it? I don't care. Listen, we're trying to bring in as many people as possible. There's going to be some new voices you will see on this show. One of them today will not be Greg Braggs, who's out doing things like he's almost now starting to become a little too famous. Like hey, look at that. Greg Braggs is now out there being famous and doing all that stuff, but that's okay. I will be manning the show here by myself, although I've had to learn a couple. So like I mentioned on the top is that I've been doing the Fast channel with Jim Rome and working with him, and somebody who's worked for so long in radio as a solo host. Like you never see that in radio anymore. You have like Mike and Mike Jr. now, I should say. But you see like all these tandems, Waddle and Sylvie, like all these guys. It's always somebody. It's two people. And it feels like everybody's always afraid. I've always admired Jim Rome because he does it by himself. And I've always wanted, like, I don't need any. And Sammy and Anella are the guys like, no, you definitely need somebody. We need somebody to keep you in check so you don't get too out of hand. And I understand that. Listen, I get it. I know myself. And I know too, the one good thing about this is that there's no time constraints for me on this show. I can go as long as I want, as short as I want, although Sammy will eventually pull the plug at some point. Because I'm just looking, some of these Funko Pops have been falling down. It's all the rioting in Los Angeles. By the way, for anybody who's concerned, I know people have reached out because they know that I live in Southern California. So if I could, I'm trying to put this. So like if you know where Miller's Pub is in downtown Chicago, Terrence Young would know this. By the way, the gardener have not been doing anything all day. Now, all of a sudden, they decided, I got to go right outside the window with the guy that has the light, the ring light. We see that he's recording, but at the same time, everything in LA is like in a 2-block area, like 30 miles. We're fine. But let's talk about the Bears and the OTAs. And again, we had the rookies. The rookies were mandatory this week, but still, Caleb Williams comes out, Rome Odunze comes out, and it really shows that there is a true leadership part of that. But these guys want to get to work, and they want to be good, and it's something that Ben Johnson is bringing in, and Ben Johnson is now starting to really, bring accountability, I think, is the best way to put that. And so we want to play this first clip. Ben Johnson is talking about, and in particular in this one, it's Luther Burden III, but he's talking about people being available and ready to go and get on the field. So Sammy, if you can play the remarks from Ben Johnson.
Misses a lot. I mean, anytime you're not out there, if you're in the training room when the rest of the guys are practicing, you're losing valuable time with your coaches, valuable reps with your teammates, the ability to build the trust that we're talking about. It's not just the coaching staff having trust in you doing the right thing over and over, but it's also your teammates. They got to be out there. They got to see you do it. They got to know that the guy right, left of them, that they're going to do the right things and they're going to make the plays when called upon. So, I think it's for everybody, and it's a shame that he got dinged up and missed all that time, because for a young player, it's really where you get the most reps and you can get better in a hurry that way. So that's really for every player on this team.
Yeah, and it's something that you saw with the Bears a couple of seasons ago. We saw, there were players who were missing time, who disappeared from camp. We didn't know, we didn't have any updates. So it's nice, a little refreshing to see Ben Johnson kind of address it and be out front of it and let everybody know. And it's like, you don't want to push these guys to play when you're hurt. When you're hurt, you're hurt when you're hurt. It's like one of those things when you go back and you watch Ted Lasso, where he's talking about, hey, it's practice. If you're hurt, you're hurt. I don't think it's anything like that with Luther Burden III. I don't think that it's anything to be overly concerned about, but it is something that's going to be addressed. And they want players out there getting better, getting acclimated to this system. And it is going to probably open up some opportunities for some of the other guys who are on this roster. Now, we're still hoping our guy Tyler Scott is going to be given a fair chance to go out there and make the team. As it stands right now, the deck is sort of stacked against him, but we're still rooting for him and hoping that all the best for him. But we also brought in a number of other players and veteran players who will probably come in and make an impact. Obviously DJ Moore and Rome Odunze are the two headliners of this one, the two duo. But I think about signing a guy like Olamide Zaccheaus, who, listen, is he, when you're putting together your top 20 list of wide receivers in the NFL, he might not make it, which, by the way, I need to bring this up too. And I'm going to be working to get, probably not Greg Rosenthal, but Patrick Claybon or Matt Harmon need to actually come onto this show. And I'm going to put out, Sammy, we're going to put out feelers for those guys. I want them to address their list of top 30 guys. I hope that I'm mistaken when I was reading it that DJ Moore didn't crack the top 10 wide receiver list. I got to go back and check that out. I want to make sure. And again, I don't mean to drag anybody, but that it's not something that I would be afraid to say to their face. And Patrick Claybon obviously knows the next time same thing with Matt Harmon. The next time that I see them, we're going to be addressing this. And I know that Matt Harmon loves DJ Moore. So Matt Harmon, for sure. Patrick Claybon, probably. I should get them both on. To sit here and have some accountability for their list. And by the way, if you saw the Jim Rome Fast channel today, I do go over my list. I'll say that for the end. But in any event, having a guy like Olamide Zaccheaus, I think is a pretty big boon for us, for this organization, because again, you don't need somebody who's going to go out there and be a superstar. You need somebody who can go out there and make catches. And I know that he's not as good as Keenan. I think they might be on the same level right now. To my knowledge, I don't even know if Keenan Allen is signed. Do we know that, Sammy? Can you look that up real quick? Has Keenan Allen signed anywhere? If I missed it, I apologize. But it's one of those things, like, you need that veteran guy that you can count on. and he's not going to be out there as he's not going to be a target hog. But whenever he's been called upon, and I know this from That Helps No One. That's why I know how to say his name, Olamide Zaccheaus. That's why I first got to know him, is that he go out there and you see him and he makes crucial plays and he makes he comes up with critical catches in big moments. And I've always kind of liked him. And you always need guys like that. Like, that's always one of the things that's the most frustrating for a lot of teams. It's not like, hey, when the superstar beats you, you're like, okay, like I can handle that. Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson, you're like, okay. But when it's Randall Cobb, you're like, son of a B. That Jarrett Boykins, you're like, what is happening? I know I'm being dismissive. Personally, I like Randall Cobb. James Jones, again, a friend of ours who's been on the show, I really just did not like him. I didn't know him until I got to know him. I love him. Did not like him because he makes big plays. And I think Olamide Zaccheaus can be that. Listen, is he going to be a superstar? No. Pro Bowl? Absolutely not. Nothing like that. Is he going to catch five or six touchdowns? I think he is. If you give him an opportunity, he's going to go out there. He's going to catch 25 passes, and 6 of them are going to be touchdowns. And by the way, thank you, Sammy. Keenan Allen is not signed. I think Keenan Allen is also now wise enough in this part of the season to go out there and go out there and wait. You don't have to report right now. You can wait a little bit and then go and sign your deal, because he can actually take his pick and wait and see if there is a team out there that has a need. He could probably be eyeing a team like New England, be like, hey, you know what? He can go to New England and play opposite of Stephon Diggs and give Drake May a pretty nice little combination right there, which is great. I know why are people texting me right now? I'm tweeting it out. Don't worry, Sammy. In any event, I do want to talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to go over more of the Bears sound that we have. Azie Trapillo is trying so hard to be one of my favorite players in the NFL. Azie had some comments today here with this, or this week, if it's today, if it's yesterday. Anyways, Sammy, can we roll this tape of Azie Trapillo?
Performance catching the passes last week, running the routes.
Can you repeat the first part of that?
Yeah, I do grade your own performance catching the passes, running the routes.
Yeah, no, that was fun. They brought that up before practice. I know all the guys were excited about that. So just tried to look smooth out there. Catch and tuck. Just did my best. So.
Oh, catch and truck. Trying to do my best. Catch and truck. That is, first of all, Azie, catch the ball first. Don't make the rookie move of turning your head before you catch the ball. Secure that ball, then truck a person. I can't wait for that. Oh, I want it to be a Packer that he's just trucking as he's running down the field. There is going to be that stuff going on, and maybe the Bears are getting a little out in front of their skis here early on, already working on the razzle dazzle trick plays as opposed to going out and actually, I don't know, learning how to block. We're not that good because there's still questions about Azie. And I know the fun stuff being the fun stuff. Is there a real opportunity that Azie could end up being the left tackle for the Chicago Bears this season? And if that happens, that means there will be 4 new starters on the off. Am I getting that right? 4? Yeah, because Darnell Wright would be the other guy. So 4 new starters on the offensive line. I would actually probably anticipate that. I think Azie, and again, he goes on in this clip. We didn't cut this one off, but I will just kind of go over what he said, where he's just going out taking reps, and he's taking reps at left tackle, and he's just going out there and doing what he can do. But even he's got the mindset of look, we're out here without pads. We're really not seeing much of anything. Although I will say that I saw a report out of Houston where they were talking about their new tackles. And obviously the Texans had traded away Laramie Tunsil. They brought in Lincoln Tomlinson and what's the other guy's name? Anyways, they brought in 2 guards like the Bears. They really fortified the interior, and their linemen are getting blown up by Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson already so far in training camp. And you're like, hey, is it Ed Ingram? Was the other guy Lincoln Tomlinson and Ed Ingram? I think it was. You're You're like, you don't want to do that without pads. But Azie is already just kind of like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm looking good out here without pads. We'll see what happens. We're just trying to get acclimated, just trying to make myself as valuable to the team as possible. And one of the things that they really liked about him was his versatility to move up and down the line, both tackle positions. And I know that I've seen people bring this up, like, hey, like Ryan Poles really just sold this team. What happens if there's an injury? I'm like, you know what? Injuries happen to everybody. Yeah, I'm sorry. The way that the NFL is constructed, you don't get to keep all pros on the bench. Like, yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice that if somebody goes down, we had somebody the caliber of, say, Kyle Long, who was that doesn't happen in the NFL. When you play your backups, it's going to hurt every team. We saw what happened to Kansas City in the Super Bowl when they had to kick Joe Thuney out to the tackle spot. Like, yeah, that's going to be an issue for everybody. Like, there is no depth in the NFL anymore because of the salary cap. Nobody gets to hoard players. But I believe because once Braxton Jones returns, we do have some depth at the tackle positions that will give us some flexibility because injuries are inevitable. But I think the Bears, it's not the best depth, but they've done such a nice job of rebuilding the offensive line that if we're upset that our 7, 8, 9 guys aren't that good, it's a nice change from worrying about our 1, 2, and 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a better problem to have. We're building up an offensive line. Is it perfect right now? Absolutely not. But I think we're in a much better spot right now than we were a year ago. And that's even with Braxton Jones being injured, and we don't know what his availability is going to be. All right. Another one of our offensive linemen who is starting here. Oh, I know. Listen, Colston Loveland plays on the line. He's a tight end. Colston Loveland was talking about the newlywed Cole Kmet. By the way, sorry for all the ladies out there who just found out, who are like, oh, Cole Kmet not only had a girlfriend, he's married now. Sucks for a lot of you ladies out there, but it's great for the Chicago Bears. And Colston Loveland talked about sharing some reps with Cole Kmet. We talked about Cole Kmet last year and his veteran approach, his leadership, and everything that he's shown. Colston Loveland talked about that right here.
It's been super helpful. But yeah, Cole, I mean, it's a vet right there. Does everything the right way. Really good at football, like really good mentally, really good physically. So it's a great guy that I can look up to. And he's been very coachable, let me know, show him I run a route or do something, he'll tell me some things, how he sees it, some coverage things or whatever that may be. So he's been super helpful and I'm very appreciative.
Did you get him a wedding gift?
I didn't, not yet, but I made sure to tell him congrats.
Yeah, you know what? The veteran move right there, Colston, get him something. Candles always make a nice gift. No. What does make a nice wedding gift? I don't even know. I think I have a wedding to go to soon too. Anyways, what does make it? I think nowadays everybody's just like an Amazon gift card. Like, yeah, here's an Amazon. Isn't it like we're basically just like whenever you give people money or anything like that, like the whole point of it, like you have a registry, yeah? Like that's the thing. You go in, you're supposed to go out there and find a registry, find something. At least they get to pick it. I wish we would have registries for like other events. Like I guess you do with an Amazon wish list. So we're already doing this, but Colston Loveland talking about the relationship already with Cole Kmet. If you want to foster that relationship a little bit more, get him a gift. Actually, get him some booze, get him a cigar or get him some booze. Like don't just a little something personal. Like, hey man, like here's some Glen Gooley Blue or whatever it is. Ask him. You know what the classy thing to do? This is what I would always do. Whenever I need to give somebody a gift of alcohol, you always just like one of my researchers at the NFL Network, her name's Corrine. She does such a great job for us. And every year I try to give her a bottle of vodka because the first time that she started working for us, I'm like, hey, Corrine, I'm like, throwing a party, like what kind of booze do people like? Like, what do you drink? She's like, I love vodka. I love Sky vodka. It wasn't Sky vodka, but it was like, I love Grey Goose. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Christmas, there's your bottle of Grey Goose. Very subtle. Do that with Cole Kmet. Be like, hey, Cole Kmet, I'm inviting some people over. Like, what do you normally drink? And if he's like, I drink Blue Moon or whatever, boom, 12-pack of Blue Moon, case of Blue Moon shows up. You're a football player. A case of Blue Moon shows up. But we do want to see the chemistry growing at the offensive line. Again, it is good that Colston Loveland has been able to get out there a little bit. Luther Burden III, not so much. These are the kind of things that show up, and we'll see. I know a lot of people were dinging the Chicago Bears for taking a guy that had a shoulder issue, which is true. I understand what everybody is saying, but hopefully by the time we get to week 8 or 9 or anything like that, we're not even thinking about that anymore, because we have a guy who's going out there and killing it. And another guy who I hope is going to go out there and kill it is one of our friends, Ruben Hyppolite. Now, if you have not listened to the show with Ruben Hyppolite, what are you waiting for? Go out there, go through the archives, go find the show that we did with him. What a cool guy. And this is one of the things that I'm always prone to do, is we find these dudes and they're super cool and you're like, I love them, and we're rooting for them. And then you become a little bit irrational in your defense of them, or your mindset or anything like that. However, I will say this. One of the things that I really like about Ruben Hyppolite is that the Bears really wanted him. I mean, they used a 4th round pick on him, so they better have wanted him. But when you think about Dennis Allen and all the things that he's been able to do in this league, and all the players that he's molded over time, when Dennis Allen comes out, and obviously a move like this is not going to be made unless Dennis Allen is on board with it. So I love everything about this. So for me, I think if Dennis Allen likes Ruben Hyppolite, you should like Ruben Hyppolite too. I'm not even saying in like a personal sense, but as a player sense. So we do have some sound of Ruben talking about Dennis Allen. And Sammy, if we could play that right now.
Off the ball in college. So, you have that. You have playing in space, man coverage, zone coverage, just different techniques that I played certain ways for a long time. In this particular defense, it's just a little bit different, which is fine. But it's all about learning it. Coach DA doesn't care if I haven't played like that. I got to learn it and get it right and make the play when my number's called. So,
yeah, that's the thing. Like this is not about what you're used to or how I've done it. This is the way we did it here or there. This is the way we did it, when I was in high school or anything like that. Like nobody cares about that anymore. You got to go out there and perform. And Dennis Allen has shown an ability to go out there and create great players out of these dudes with ability. And when you look at the ability of Ruben Hyppolite, it is one of those things that we're really, really hope that he can step up and do a much better job of that. Ooh, okay. In any event, let's talk though. So that was what was going on with the Bears at minicamp. I don't know if we've talked about this yet, and I've been doing so many shows, and again, for anybody who's catching up, has missed a couple of shows, wondering what's going on with me and my life. Number one, if you see me on the Rome Fast channel, I have been doing that with him. It's called the After Hour. You can find it on Samsung TV. I will tweet out every day, like the places you can find it, or you can just Google Rome Fast channel, see how you can watch it. And sure, that's usually how I do it. Like if I ever want to, like the other day I wanted to watch, or a couple of weeks ago after Memorial Day, I wanted to watch Band of Brothers. So I was like, how do I watch it? It was on Max. It was like stupidly easy that I felt stupid for going and Googling it. All I needed to do was go on to Max and hit Band of BA, and then Band of Brothers shows up. You're like, okay, I guess that was kind of my fault. So I've been doing that. I'm still with the NFL Network. NFL Fantasy Live, to my knowledge, is going to be returning this fall. I have not heard anything else, but I am under employment. I'm under contract still with the NFL Network. So don't worry about that. I'm doing Jim Rome. I'm doing this. Still calling games for Cal State Fullerton. That'll start in the fall once again. Still coaching football or soccer. Sorry, Americans. Soccer. Let me get it. Fahrenheit. Soccer. Yards. Okay. I will say, though, if I missed this, if we've talked about this already, Aaron Rodgers. Well, no, I know we didn't talk about this because Aaron Rodgers, in the most Aaron Rodgers sense of anything, shows up at training camp or OTAs or whatever, and he's wearing a wedding ring. And by the way, Jordan Rodgers is married. Good news. I checked this the other day. Jordan Rodgers is married. Aaron Rodgers also married. Nobody had the guts. No, everybody was sitting there thinking about it. Like, hey, were your parents there? Did your family show? Like, and nobody asked. Everybody's afraid of Aaron Rodgers. He's just got he's got this attitude where he's wearing a wedding ring. and it's prominent. So if he doesn't want to talk about it, there's a very simple solution. Don't wear the wedding ring. Be like, I don't want to be asked about this. Take it off. I'm sure it'll be fine. But he was wearing it, and of course, he wants to be asked, but he's a teenager. He really is. He's like, I want to be asked, but I don't want to talk about it. I want people to care about me being married. I don't want to talk about it. And that's the kind of vibe that he already started off with. But he did say that he was all in on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not taking a trip to Egypt. He's not doing it. He's there. He's active. You saw him working out with DK Metcalf, and DK Metcalf has one of those aura numbers now, wearing number 4. You're like, that does look sweet. I almost am now swinging back. I'm still of the mind that if you are, I'm still of the mind that if you're a superstar player, I don't mind pulling a number out of the rafters. Like, let's say that DK Metcalf came to us and was like, hey, I want number 3 or number 5. Let's say it's McAfee's number instead of Bronco Nagurski is a little bit different. I think Broncos has got to be a special. I don't know if DK is pulling the number out of the rafters worthy. Nah, he's close. He's very close. It'd be a good conversation. But I would like to see some of the like, hey, like if Jamar Chase was joining the team and he's like, hey, I want number 5. And you're like, all right, let's ask the family. The family's going to say yes, 100% every time. Like Marshall Goldberg's family did with the Arizona Cardinals, where they're like, okay, yeah, he can wear 99. JJ Watt, of course, can wear our grandfather's number. Of course he could. Very similar. Like DK is very close to that. But you see the chemistry that he's having with Aaron Rodgers. And I'll be honest with you, and like this is going to be my take. I think that Aaron Rodgers, and it sucks because I've already done my schedule predictions for the NFL, did it before Aaron Rodgers got there. I think Aaron Rodgers makes them better. Like, they're a better team. They really are. Aaron Rodgers nearly threw for 4,000 yards last season. I think it was like 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns. He did have 11 interceptions, but he was playing for the New York Jets, which I think is a degree of difficulty that should factor into any statistical category. The Steelers, to me, are a much better team. And now they're rumored to be around Jair Alexander, and who got released by the Packers. I don't know if we talked about that yet, but that was fun. And we also have, they're in the mix for Jalen Ramsey as well. So they're going to make, although TJ Watt is holding out, who knows what's going on with them. So it's funny. I do believe, I think it's safe to say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a much better team with Aaron Rodgers than they would be with Mason Rudolph. Are they better? Are they better than the Bills? No. Are they better than the Chiefs? No. Are they better than the Bengals? Well, if the Bengals don't stop screwing around with whatever they're doing, not better than the Bengals, not better than the Denver Broncos. I will tell you that right now. I will say the Broncos are one of the top 3 teams in the AFC right now. I truly believe that. And they're not better than the Ravens. I think where the Pittsburgh Steelers are right now is a team that's going to finish 9-8. Mike Tomlin's going to keep his record, and they're going to go get smoked by some team. Maybe beat the Chargers in the playoffs, something like that. But I do think Aaron Rodgers makes them a lot better. But it's interesting to see how everything is unfolding. By the way, on the Jim Rome show today, I ranked the second-year quarterbacks, and I will bring that back next time we come here for any sort of sick podcast with Adam Rank. I got to give that one to Jim Rome. I will allow him to have that one for a full 24 hours at least, but we're still going to be working on some other guests. I want to start getting into some fantasy football discussions, so we will be having some other guests moving on, but we'll be taking this opportunity to cut today a little bit short because we did not have Greg Braggs. We just didn't have a ton of news other than everybody looks good in OTAs, except for you, Luther Burden III. Get out there and get playing. But until next time, We'll see you in a little bit. And Sammy, why don't you go ahead and play us out?
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.